Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, AirspeedPrime here at my next, basically a channel update video. I really want to talk here about the series I'm doing right now, what I plan to do, and like what I basically foresee as being like the key points of the year when I'll have stuff to talk about and not talk about. So basically right now, I'm in an interesting spot. The reason I'm doing this video is because when Monday came around, I just kind of thought to myself, okay, what videos do I have to do this week? And I was like, okay, no Turtles because it's taking a break for some reason again, and it won't be back until end of the month. So okay, that's fine. No, don't have that. There's been no news recently, so no Avatar news video to do just yet. So that means like the first video for this week planned would be Thursday. So that's like, I don't think I've gone 3 or 4 days on my channel without posting a video in a long time. So it is really just in terms of what I'm interested in. Like there's not a lot to talk about right now. So yeah, I've Rebels reviews on Thursdays, and we've got a couple of weeks left of obviously Rebels. There's like 6 or 7 episodes left in the season. That's great. I'm continuing to do my weekly Avatar discussion topic videos. And for anyone wondering, this week's topic is going to be all about the history of the Dai Li, how Long Feng links into that, how Kyoshi links into the history, and how, you know, Kyoshi then went on to form the Kyoshi Warriors, and that sort of stuff. I'll be covering a lot of Earth Kingdom type stuff in this week's video on Friday, probably. But like that's all. Like just those 2 videos are really the only obvious things that come to mind. If any news comes out during the week, of course I'll cover it, but it just really highlights that, like, okay, if Turtles was back, I'd have 3 videos this week, whereas usually I'd like to have like 4, maybe 5 in the week. So it kind of leaves an open spot for me to do another kind of series on my channel while not a lot is happening at the moment. Obviously there's other stuff I do, like I review some of the Star Wars comics when they come out, only certain series. Books, of course, when they come out and stuff like that. But right now, you know, we're just in a waiting period until we get news about Rogue One, about Episode 8 and stuff like that. So it's primarily Rebels right now with Star Wars. So just leave an open spot. And what came to mind immediately for me in terms of a new series on my channel was something I did last year, which was last year basically was anime year for me. I watched a lot of anime last year, and the big thing I got into very end of 2014 and was kind of obsessed with it throughout all of 2015 was Naruto. So I basically marathoned the entire anime, and I'm basically caught up on that now. I haven't really gotten into watching the most recent filler arc. I stopped with the anime at the last canon episode, and I'm kind of just waiting until it comes back to really catch up with all that stuff. But in terms of canon stuff, I'm caught up with the anime, and I've read a couple of the chapters towards the end. And of course I recently played Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, so I have basically the entire story. But the thing is, I'm not particularly familiar with the manga. I've read, as I said, chapters here and there. It was probably the manga that kind of got me into it. You know, I initially got into it when I saw that the series was coming to an end. I had like a quick look at, you know, just the idea of what the series was about once I saw this big thing about chapter 700, and that's how I started to watch it. But I suppose in terms of the manga, I've probably only read about 10 chapters of the manga overall. But what I have been doing over the past couple of weeks and months has been collecting the manga, like buying it. And thanks to mainly Christmas and my birthday back in January, I have all of the manga now. So I have part 1, which is pre-time skip in the 3-in-1 volume. So I have 9 of these, which cover the first 27 volumes this way, and then I have basically Shippuden or post time skip in these box sets. So that's volume 28 to 48 in there, and then box set 3, which only came out like last month, is in here, which is volume 49 to 72. So I have the the whole series, and then I also have the Naruto Gaiden. So I have all of the manga basically, but I haven't read most of it. And my plan for another series, which I definitely want you guys to comment on, that's the main reason I'm doing this video, is I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on me kind of giving my first impressions about like Naruto. Like, I've talked about Gaiden and I covered some of my thoughts on the main series in that. But for the most part, I haven't talked about my thoughts on the entire Naruto story on my channel yet. So my plan was to go through it volume by volume, do one volume at a time. So this book, which is volumes 1, 2, and 3, would be 3 videos, and so on. So the series in total would have 72 videos. That was my plan, and I'd go through each volume and talk about the chapters, the big events that happen in it. And that would be my way to have covered all of Naruto. And then, of course, when, in a couple of months, the new Boruto manga starts, I would review that as it comes out each month. So that's the main thing I want to talk to you guys about in this video, is just what are your guys' thoughts on me doing these manga reviews. That it'll be basically my way to talk about my thoughts on the series, but it'll be interesting because it will be me reading the manga basically for the first time, but bringing in my experience having primarily knowing Naruto through the anime, and then the later sections of it through the video game, which was just recently released. And basically I just want some thoughts on, like, what are your thoughts on the format of me doing one volume at a time? Would you like me to do less per video, or cover more volumes per video, or just test it out and see how it goes? That's the main question I have for you guys going forward, of course. The other thing I suppose to mention here is, like, okay, I want to do Naruto videos, what are your guys' thoughts on it? Is just that basically the big things in relation to Avatar that are going to be happening this year, where I see the most of my Avatar videos happening. As I said, coming up fairly soon is Smoke and Shadow Part 3. That's the most obvious, like, big Avatar thing coming out. That release date is like very end of March. It's either March 30th or 31st. Whichever one's a Wednesday is when the book is out. I keep forgetting that. But that's going to be a big thing, of course. The end of that series, which I've really liked so far. I can't wait to see how it finishes up. So big news is obviously going to happen when that comes out. Absolutely, I'll be covering that on my channel. Review. I've contacted Dark Horse to try and get a review copy. Doesn't look like it's happening again, but we'll see what happens with that. So it might just be a day of release review for that. But obviously, we still have to get some news about that. We still have to get the full preview for Smoke and Shadow Part 3. We've only seen one preview page so far. We're expecting at least 4 or 5 more. So there's that news still is to come. The next big Avatar thing would be Free Comic Book Day. We know there's a Korra free comic coming this year, and that's going to be the first Saturday in May, which I believe is the 4th or 5th. Can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, we know that that's coming. But again, we're expecting preview pages for that book. Probably only 1 or 2 preview pages because it's a short comic. We're expecting those preview pages any day now. That news could break any day now. I probably have to check today to see if they've gone up. But that's happening. And that's going to be a big deal because it's going to be the first released Korra comic, even though it's a small free comic book. But then most of the stuff Avatar-wise that's big that's happening this year is happening like September, October, as far as we're aware right now. That's when the Korra poster collection's coming out. That's when the Smoke and Shadow Library Edition hardcover is coming out. That's when North and South Part 1 is coming out. And it's when October, November, I think, is when we're roughly expecting the first proper full-size Korra comic to come out. So there's that. Like, that's going to be the big Avatar time of the year. Like, I'm probably going to have a ton of Avatar videos out in September, October, to cover that stuff. And then, of course, with North and South and the Korra comic, we will probably have preview pages a month or two before then. So like July, August, we'll get preview pages for those two comics, something like that. And then the big thing that I haven't mentioned here is, of course, the core comic. It technically hasn't been properly announced just yet, in the sense of like we haven't seen a cover for this. We've only seen like some non-color art for it. So there's a big reveal coming at some point this year for that. And that could happen any day now as well, because we know for a fact fall 2016 is the release date they've given for the first book. That means the reveal can't be at New York Comic Con, because New York Comic Con is in October. I think San Diego Comic Con in June or July, I can't remember which month. I think that's almost too late to announce it, only like a couple of months before the book is released. So I think, and given that there's no other really big conventions between now and San Diego Comic Con, in these comic-wise, that I think would be worthy of revealing this at, I think that any week now we could be getting a news article from somewhere like Comic Book Resources, or even a site like IGN could get this big reveal. They've had some Avatar reveals in the past. They could get this reveal any day now, and that's big news. So it just highlights that, okay, like right now it seems to be when we're getting the reveal of all of the products for this year, and that's important to cover. But they're not coming out until like basically towards the end of the year, which leaves a pretty big gap in the middle of the year where there won't be a whole lot of Avatar to discuss beyond like, okay, free comic book day, some preview pages for this, that, and the other, but the actual releases of these products are not until the very end of the year. And so it just means that like last year, there's not going to be a ton of Avatar stuff every single week to discuss. And it's hard to run the channel primarily focused on Avatar when there's not a lot of Avatar stuff actually happening. I do my best to kind of, as I said, I will continue to do the weekly discussion topic videos and keep you guys informed that way with thoughts on specific things, details and stuff like that. But of course I have to branch out into other stuff just to keep doing videos and stuff like that. So that's basically all I wanted to talk about in this video. Just kind of let you guys know like when the big Avatar stuff is expected to happen this year, and what my plans are for another series on my channel. So again, in the comments let me know what your thoughts were on the whole video, but primarily what your guys' thoughts are on me doing going back and reviewing Naruto, the manga, from volume 1 basically. What are your thoughts on the format I should do for it? You know, how long should the videos be when I do them? How much should I cover per video? And stuff like that. Like specific things you'd like me to do in those videos. That's the sort of stuff I want to hear some feedback on before I even start to do the series. Or would you just like to see like me do one video and then get feedback after the first video, or what? But yeah, that's about all I wanted to cover in this video. So that's been today's video. Thanks for watching, and bye.